everyone, Pam Gregory, astrologer. I'm going to be speaking to you today about the full moon in Virgo coming up on the 1st or 2nd of the month, depending on where in the world you live, and also the first half of March. But this whole period, really, the second half of February, first half of March, has a great deal of dreamy Piscean energy. From the 21st to the 25th of February, we have Venus, then Mercury, coming into conjunction with Neptune at 13 of Pisces, Neptune being the ruler of Pisces. So this is a wonderful time to create, to write, to use your imagination and your sense of beauty. And that continues, as I say, and I'll be saying more about that through March. But we have a full moon coming up at 11:23 of Virgo. That's happening on the 1st of March. It's happening at 4:51 p.m. Pacific, or UK time. That's happening the next day, the 2nd, at 0:51 a.m. So we have something very positive happening at this time. We have a grand trine in Earth between the moon at 11 of Virgo, Saturn at 7 of Capricorn, and the asteroid Pallas Athena. That's to do with success and winning and strategy at 15 of Taurus. So see where those fall in your chart, because particularly if they fall in your 2nd, 6th and 10th houses, that grand trine, you'll be recognised, you'll achieve success in your work, you might have more income coming in your work, particularly if you have Pallas Athena falling in that 2nd house of money at 15 of Taurus. So just see where that's falling, but that's very positive. And also up until the 8th of the month, we have all of the planets moving direct, which is very positive for any work project that you want to progress. Jupiter then on the 8th goes retrograde. It goes retrograde at 23 degrees of Scorpio, and it moves back to 13 of Scorpio by the 10th of July. Now, when planets go retrograde, there's always this sense of introspection and integration to do with the principle of that planet. So with Jupiter, it's wisdom. So we can start to use that retrograde motion from the 8th of March to integrate wisdom of what we've been learning with its forward motion recently. So again, see where transiting Jupiter at 23 of Scorpio is falling for you, and what kind of wisdom you're taking in a much more introspective way. So, but we have this full moon, as I say, in Virgo. So Virgo is, the full moon is always to do with coming to closure, coming to fruition, seeing the fruits of your labour. And also this grand trine in Earth is very connected to seeing the fruits of your labour too. So there's a sense of achievement coming in here. But Virgo is the sign to do with discernment, discrimination, making everything work super efficiently in your life. It's the sign I most associate with Feng Shui. So this is a great time as we move into early spring in the Northern Hemisphere, that you declutter, you clear your house, your apartment of stuff, things that are getting in the way of you working most efficiently. It's also, do you use your time efficiently? Can you use it better? And this isn't about just decluttering material things. It's also about decluttering your emotional state, decluttering your mind, if you like. And a wonderful practice for this is mindfulness. It's terribly simple. There's a lot online about it, but it's just taking mini breaks of just a few minutes in your day to follow your breath. Just watch your breath. Step back from whatever you're doing and just watch your breath, and watch the change that creates in your state, in your frequency. Because so often all of us are running. We do one thing after another thing after another thing all through our days. And just to take those mini mindfulness breaks can really start to change the frequency that you're broadcasting on and bring much more peace and calm into your life. So really do consider that. It's a wonderful practice which becomes, again, an integrated part of your own wisdom using the Jupiter retrograde. So Also, it's a very good time to think about detoxing because Virgo is the sign of purification. It's the sign of refinement. So it's a great time to refine your diet, make it much purer and healthier. And this Virgo Pisces axis, because we have the sun in Pisces, I'll be talking about that in a moment, and the moon in Virgo, they're always opposite each other at a full moon. This axis is the one that is most connected to healing. Healing physically, healing emotionally. So really do use that well. What can you do to help yourself in terms of the purification of your daily life and the purification of your diet, if that's relevant for you too? But we have a huge emphasis in Pisces, as I said at the beginning. At this full moon, we have 5 planets in Pisces. We have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Neptune, and Chiron. We also have 7 planets in total in mutable, what are called mutable signs, chameleon-like. Because as well as the 5 planets in Pisces, we have the moon in Virgo, also a mutable sign, and Mars in Sagittarius. So mutability is about being adaptable, changeable, dexterous, going with the flow of life, not being regimented, not necessarily setting goals and writing your business plan. This is a much more unfocused energy, particularly the Pisces side. Emphasizing that we have the Sun tightly conjunct Neptune at 13 of Pisces. As I mentioned, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So this is about divine inspiration. It's about connecting to source. It's about seeing all life as sacred, all beings as sacred and sentient, and everything being connected, and each of us as a unique divine spark in that ocean of consciousness. It's really beautiful. It's highly, highly sensitive, highly creative, a wonderful time to meditate, be in nature, listen to music, write poetry. It's that sense of an altered state, of losing yourself in the moment. Can you lose yourself in a book? Can you lose yourself in music? Lose yourself in dance? But where you have that connection of just losing yourself, but having a stronger spiritual connection. Because creativity and spirituality to me are 2 sides of the same coin, because they're both connected to a finer perception. And this is what this Neptunian energy will give you. It's also very devotional energy. It's a wonderful time to devote yourself to a cause bigger than self, greater than self. Because Virgo is to do with practical service for people. What can I do to help you? Pisces is to do with spiritual service. How can I help your state of being? How can I help your healing? So really, do you have enough of that in your life of practical and spiritual service? Because this is a great time to bring that to the fore as well. And in terms of that, this is in terms of helping yourself, because Venus is also conjunct Chiron in Pisces at this full moon. And this is about perhaps bringing up wounds connected to love, where you've been hurt in the past or hurt recently. A full moon is always a very good time to release emotions that no longer serve you. Again, this kind of energetic hygiene at the full moon in Virgo. And you may have a modality to do that, but if you don't, a really, really great, very simple way to do it is tapping, or emotional freedom technique, EFT. And if you go online, there are several demonstrations you can find. You can learn it in 5 minutes, and whenever you feel something isn't serving you, just tap it out. And it's a great tool I think everyone should have in their toolbox, because it's free, instant. You can do it anywhere, anytime, and you can do it yourself. Because this Virgo Pisces energy is also the axis most connected to the rescuer and the victim in relationship. So if you find you're often in that repeating cycle of being at one end or the other of that, perhaps particularly the victim that you're remembering at this time, this is again a great time to release that pattern of being in relationship. So Very good time to bring things to fruition, very good time to bring things to the surface that no longer serve you. And as I say, this cleansing that the full moon in Virgo can give us. Now, it's also a time at any full moon where secrets may be revealed. Things may be revealed that you weren't aware of before. And this is really reflected by the Sabian symbol for 12 of Virgo. Sabian symbols were downloaded many years ago by a very gifted psychic called Elsie Wheeler. And the Sabian symbol for 12 of Virgo is after the wedding, the groom snatches the veil away from his bride. There can be an unveiling of mysteries, long-held secrecy. And that's very interesting, isn't it? So think of an unveiling at this time. What's going to be revealed to you in your own life or perhaps in the world at this time? So there's this very particular, as I say, Piscean, Neptunian, mutable energy happening. Now, the only tone or subtone really that's different from that is this ongoing square between Uranus and Pluto. This, I've written and spoken an enormous amount about this aspect. It started really in April 2011, effectively with the Arab Spring, and it is this revolutionary energy. It's been emphasised recently as well because we've got the solar eclipse at 15 of on the 15th of February at 27 of Aquarius. Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. It is strongly about freedom, independence and equality. And we're living in such an unequal world now. Those themes, freedom and equality, are really coming to the surface very strongly in all kinds of protest movements, etc. So that revolutionary energy is still there all the way through March. It isn't an exact square, it's about 5 to 6 degrees away from exactitude, but it's all through March. And I think we'll feel that energy bubbling up in various places in the world. But what's important to say as well is the energy is going to change quite significantly, quite radically almost, as we go through March. The first half, carrying on from late February, is much more dreamy. As we move through the month of March, it becomes much more dynamic, much more as we move into April, May, etc. So if you've got a creative project, this is a particularly good time to work with it. Any writing, painting, listening to music, whatever you want to do, lose yourself in the moment. So I hope that's been helpful for you. If you don't know where 11 of Virgo falls in your chart, just check out this link above. You can get a 2-part tutorial video series that will explain everything you need to know, not just for this update, but for any update I ever do forever and ever, what it means in your life for you. And if you're interested in learning more about my monthly newsletter, that's about a 6,000 word newsletter, comes out on usually the last day of each month. Also my books, my best-selling How to Co-Create Using the Secret Language of the Universe, and You Don't Really Believe in Astrology, Do You?, which has been re-edited and also out there now. Just check out my website. There's a lot happening there. So you can just go to the products page and discover all there is that I have available for you in terms of other tutorial videos too. So thank you for listening and have a wonderful, wonderful full moon in Virgo. Bye for now.